So, you want to know how I build a corner mat setup filter, kind of like I got in this tank here running. I will show you all that today because I have a few friends that's in the fish and they want to know, and it might be helpful and you guys might enjoy it too. And pretty much this is my Kongs. They're going to be helping with the video today. That sponge filter just in here because this tank is pretty new, and that's the biological filtration to this corner mat for recycles and gets it beneficial bacteria on it. And I need to vacuum the tank because I fed them some cantaloupe and they kind of demolished it. That's leftover cantaloupe. But that's no big deal, so let's get this video started. Go to your kitchen and get your trash can. I'm joking, you can actually pick your trash cans up from the dollar store. I actually got this from the Dollar Tree and it was 10 bucks. I actually picked 2 of them up because I plan on building 6 of these tanks with 2 new whacking systems running 329 gallons a piece, and they will be fully dependent on their own air, and they will pretty well have their own electric hooked up to them, so the lights come on all at the same time and all that. So it should be pretty efficient because the lights will be LED and stuff. That's all in upcoming videos. Today is on this corner mat filtration. So you can do it 2 ways. Go to the dollar store, pick you up one of these. Comes with lids too. The lids you can actually cut down using 20 longs. Works pretty good. Even 10 gallons. But this is the 11-gallon tote. It's 42 large. Medium. This is the only ones I had, and actually got the hang of making these out of these trash cans after about 2 tries. But what I prefer is this rounded part here, usually right in here, and I will split them pretty well right down the middle here, both sides. Try to keep them as even as I can. And if you split this just right, you get 1, 2, 3, 4. You should have 4 usable corners to do 4 tanks with, if you cut it right. But if you never done it before, you probably have maybe 1, maybe 2 usable corners because you're probably gonna mess up. Now, how I know? This is my second trash can. So, as you're looking at your trash can, go get your razor blade. You can use scissors for this, but by God, this is tough. If you got tough to use scissors, good for you. I'm not. So get you a razor blade knife, take it, open it up. It ain't a switchblade, so it takes some effort to open. Once it's opened, you want to take and lay your trash can down, and you can use a straight edge to get a nice straight line, or you can eyeball it. That's up to you, but I'm gonna have to cut this because I can't hold the camera and my production value ain't been high enough for me to get another tripod because my other one fell over and broke. I know some people's complaining, but I get one soon. Just show your support by hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you know, I get us a tripod at 6K subscribers. I'm almost done, so hit that subscribe button. So the next step is get you a 29 gallon or a 55 gallon or so, but that's usually what I'm using this on, is a 29 gallon. Now before you cut this, you want to pretty well measure out how much you're going to need. I didn't have to do that because I pretty well made one of these already, and I didn't know what I need for a 29. As you can see, I kind of halved it on this side and halved it on that side. That leaves me half. That leaves me 3 more. So anyway, my production value, another reason I got a tripod is because I used all my production value to buy a 29 gallon tank, and as you can tell, it's pretty well brand new. So once you get that cut, we want to know what our height needs to be, and I'm going to show you right now how I do it. This is one of the reasons I like to bend. And you need to level it too if you didn't cut the straightest, which I didn't, if you can tell. You take scissors and do that once you get it cut. Ain't too bad once the trash can is cut. But you basically put it up against the grass, and you can see it needs leveled. Tuck in a little bit up top here, and just cut it level, and then come back and see what you got. So when you get it first cut, you need to take and test fit it a couple times and make sure it fits to the grass kind of tight. If you can see, if it's got a little bit of a gap like this, silicone's going to fill it up. It ain't no biggie, but as you can see, ours is looking good. I like to cut it down about 1 inch, a little bit over 1 inch, for the piping to come out. As you seen in the earlier video, you could actually make this as tall as is if you wanted to and just drill a hole for your piping. I prefer to do it like that, where I can pour my piping up and out of my you know, system of tanks that I got. And the filter comes all the way to the top here, so ain't gonna be no fish or anything like that getting behind it. So you'll be fine just if you do it like me, or you can do it any way you want to. It's just a idea, giving you an idea how. Now once you get it cut in the way you want it, you can take it out. And if you're using something different than this, you can actually use crayon and paint it black if you want to paint it black. So that ain't no biggie. You can always paint the color of whatever trash can you're using or whatever you use. So once we get this, we can actually take and clean our grass on the inside. Even though this is a new tank, you want to take some alcohol and wipe this down and let it dry good, because you need it clean for your silicone to stick to the grass. As your alcohol is now drying off the grass and you got it pretty well dry, let's give it some more dry time. You need to put holes in this. Now you can actually take I've been playing with the idea of getting me some garden mesh and just using this as kind of a frame, and then putting silicone cone and garden mesh all the way in here. But I ain't never did that setup yet. I just take a soldering iron. You can use a drill bit, but I take a little scissors box. As you can see, I have did a couple of these. Take a soldering iron and just do this in a well ventilated area, because plastic can be poisonous and you want to basically do it in a well ventilated area. Or just use a drill if you're worried about the fumes. But I just basically take my soldering iron and let it get hot and just melt through it, just like so. Come back up, do it again, just like so. And that's how you pretty well get all holes into this corner mat system. You can use a drill, but I just use a soldering iron in a well ventilated area. My windows is all open. So go ahead and make all your holes as you please. Take care of your holes, and we go to the next step. So this is the finished product. As you can see, we pretty well got all our holes in this, and I am using this part right here as the main top. I think it's how we had it set in there. It looks nicer than the bottom, but we will try it both ways. Let's go ahead and put it back in there. You can see we got plenty of room for a filter, a pipe, and a heater. And yep, that's how I'm going to do it, because my other one's got this curve at the bottom too, so it will match my other tank. So line it up. You can put it like this to have more room. You can put it like this. It's up to you. And I think I'm going to go right there. It gives us plenty of room. The size of a hand, a piping, and a heater will go in there, no problem, with a sponge. So yeah, silicone time. I use all-purpose 100% silicone, weatherproof, and it says not for aquarium use, but I used it for years and it holds water. They think they just put it on there to sell you different silicone for a couple dollars more. But yeah, make sure it's silicone worn. It does not have no mold in here, but it's food safe to use around countertops and stuff like that. Also, now I don't know if my eyes was tricking me or not, but I could have swore I seen this in black at Lowe's, the same stuff, and tan. I know Walmart's just carries this color, but Lowe's had a big selection, so you might could find this in black. I ain't never used the black, but I thought I seen it, but I might been wrong. Let me know in the comment section if they do offer all-purpose 100% silicone in black, and that'd be cool. But yeah, let's get started. What we want to do is once you got that clean, let's go ahead and start at the bottom. Just gently put you a bead all the way around your thing. Whoa, it's moving on me. Let me set this down. Now if you kind of got a little bit of a wide gap, that's okay. You can actually use your silicone and just go side to side, just like so. Once you run your finger up it, will smooth out. Now you can use tape on this if you want it cleaner, but I'm fine with it just like this, because this is a homemade baffle, and your attention going to be on your fish, not the baffle. Now that we got it in, also quick tip, if you're using an old aquarium, pick the best looking side that ain't scuffed up or scratched, and put your baffle on opposite, you know. Well, getting excited, guys, and not double checking myself. I put this on the wrong side. I need to put it on this side. It's simple. It's still wet, so it'll be easy to clean up. So let's just go ahead and remove this, and make a mess over here instead. Just set it down here. There we go. Now that I got this side, I got a little bit over, but we'll clean it up here in a minute. Next, take your finger and smooth it out. Just take your finger and go out like this. Make a good, nice, even seam. If you use tape on this, this would be a good time to peel your tape off once you get this. It just makes everything nicer. Look at all this leftover silicone we don't need. Well, I got that side cleaned back up. Didn't clean the bottom too good because substrate's going to have that. But silicone is actually quite easy to get off, even if it's still wet. You can wait till it dries, it come off easy too. But I went ahead and cleaned it. A few paper towels. But before I started, I took an old business card and just went up, got the excess silicone off, then alcohol and water and some paper towels. As you can see, it's good as new, it's cleaned up. Everybody makes mistakes. Hell, you might make a mistake of putting your baffle on the side that on your old tank or something that's scratched up, and you want it on the other side. If so, you see how easy it is to just clean that up. You don't have to live with it. You can change that before it dries. So we moved it on this side. I took my finger, cleaned all this up, and it did start dry on me. Took a business card and just went in the edges and smoothed them up some, cleaned the edges up. You know, if you had tape on this before you set this in, you could peel it up and had a nice edge, but once it dries, you won't never know it. If you had black silicone, you know, it'll match right in, especially with the background painted black. But you know, we got clear silicone. Once it dries, won't be too noticeable at all, and get algae and stuff on it. But yeah, it looks pretty good. So the next step, I'll be showing you how to build the pipe and cut your sponge and everything and make it fit all nice in this. So stay tuned. But before we can do that, you gotta let it dry. It needs to dry at least 24 hours. If you use a lot of silicone like I did, around 30 hours. Sometimes 48, up to you. Next step, you will get you some 1-inch PVC. This is what I use because the L-stone that you will use inside this later that I will show you fits in here pretty good. If you get smaller, L-stone might not work. So 1 inch seems to be the best spot for this. If you built these before, let me know in the comment section what you used if you used a smaller one. But 1 inch works fine with me. Now for these 29 gallon tanks, they kind of tall. I use a 15-inch piece right here. That's 15 inches cut. And then I got one of these flip-on corners that will go just like so, and I have an end here. But we are not going to assemble this till I get my hose drilled in to this bottom here. So this is the fitting. You just push it on, and no need to cement it. That way you can adjust it if you want it at a different angle. I drilled 2 holes on the end here, up and down just like so, all the way around the pipe. Now I will show you what that does. You can actually take this end cap here, and it will fit on this kind of snug. As you see right now, I got the end cap pressed on it. It's kind of snug, and it's covering some of the holes up. You can actually back it off if you wanted to a little, open it full. Just depending on the L-stone you use, you might have to block some of these holes off. You can block in just one of those 4. It all depends on you. This fits snug, so you will not have to use any pipe cement, and you can adjust it depending on your L-stone and how you want it to come out. If it's too much hose, then you can pretty well just use your end cap. Smart, I know. So you can get this in black. They do sell black PVC. White is cheaper and more common. You can actually paint this if you wanted to, sand it and spray it with Crayon. I'm not painting this because you won't see much of it. And probably if I did want black, I would just pay a little extra and get black PVC. Because after you buy a can of paint and you paint a couple of these, you're probably cheaper to find the black PVC. So let's go ahead and show you the next step. So this is the sponge I use. You can pick this up. It comes with different lengths and everything. This is 30 parts per, what is it? Something that's 30. It's 31. And I usually take, I got a little close here, but it comes pretty thick. It comes about yay thick. And I take a razor blade and I usually just cut it, if you can see these marks here, and split it in half, and that makes it more bendable and easier to apply. Now let's test fit this. You don't have to cut it if you don't want to, but as you can see, we're going to have to cut some of this off anyway, as it's too big. So this is pretty well what it looks like finished. I actually had a little bit of a gap right here. I actually wedged another piece of foam in there. It's easy to do, and it keeps fish out, and I bring it right up to the top of the rim here, and that little bitty piece right there helped it curve all the way down. So wasn't no need to cut it, but the next step will be your pipe. Now if you cut it to the length of your tank, it might take a couple tries. This will set down right here, and if you can see, we need a gap cut into this foam. Don't cut it all the way off, just slice it in 2 parts, which I'm about to show you, and put it where you want your flow to be, out like this or to the side. I usually put mine straight, but you could put it here and get a water flow come this way and that way. But I usually do it like this, and then it comes back. Now what I did, I just cut a little place in this so my thing will set down, and it bottoms out on the bottom of the tank. But as you can see, we're level with the lead, so when I put the lead on, this will help hold this down. Now as for this end, you will need to cut a little piece of PVC. Don't have to be a ½ inch maybe, just to come out enough about like this, like you seen on the beginning of the video, or you can just leave it like that. But I prefer to having a little piece of PVC so I can let the water run out this way. So this is pretty well with the fitting in it. As you can see, it hangs over just enough to send new circulation up into this area of the tank. And we got plenty of room for a heater down in there, and maybe some biological bags if you wanted to, little small ones, and stack them. So go ahead and take your PVC back out of the tank. Since you test fitted it and everything fits good, you will want to put a hole directly in the middle right here, and you want your hole to be just a tad bit smaller than the L line that you will be using, so it will fit snug down in this, but you don't want it too tight. Now depending on the L line you use will be dependent on the size, but we got the hole drilled, and I'm about to show you what we need to do. Go ahead and remove your end cap. Now once you got your end cap removed, so that's the hole we made earlier with the drill. You can go ahead and just insert your L line, just like so. It should fit pretty snug, get not too tight. As you can see, this is actually very snug, but it's going in now, almost. If you can get a hold of it and pull it out. There we go. Next step will be getting your L-stone. So the L-stones I actually use on mine is these little blue ones. Now you want to soak them in water before you use them. I actually let these soak for about a day, but they recommend an hour. And they just go right onto here. Excuse the band-aid, scissor accident. Be careful when doing this, because scissors can cut you, just as a knife would. So go ahead and get that set there. Then you can pretty well put your thing in and adjust it as needed over the air hose, like that. And keep that bottomed out, just like so. And you are ready to connect it to a pump. The next step will be in filling your tank with water and installing it. Now I ain't going to be showing you on this tank because I paint the backgrounds on these to give it a smoother look. So we won't be setting this one up, but I just set one up and filled it full of water, and we need to install the piping, so we'll do it on that tank instead. So this is pretty much the setup that I was talking about to go ahead and install the piping. You can tell how this corner mat filter system just blends in. If you had black silicone, you wouldn't even notice it. Just see the outline of the silicone. Now I went ahead and just set this tank up a few hours ago. The sand is still settling and everything, And I mixed some wax in with it to give it more natural. So go ahead and grab your piping that you done put your F-stone and everything in, and insert it into where you're going to put it. So I gotta get on a ladder to get up here to this whacking system, but here it is, and we will go ahead and just insert it in like so. Which usually I take my cap off these. Now I should be a gash in one of these somewhere that I was going to run these. Is it that side here? Yeah, but I'm going to put a cut right in here. Let's see, here's my cutout. I'm just going to fold that back if I can, just like so. I just fold it down. There ain't going to hurt nothing being down, is it, guys? Just like so. And as you can see, the measurements, the reason we cut this is so you don't have to drill a hole. We cut it under, and this will just set up top. And now with a lead, if you guys use leads, the lead will help hold this down like so. See, the edge of the tank is actually helping. So go ahead and hook your air up and let it prime. It's working great. We got an air line hooked up and everything. It's doing good. Now I still got to do the lighting on these whacking systems and install my covers and stuff that I'm making. But once I get the third tank on it, we'll go from there. So that's pretty much how I put my corner mat systems in my tanks. Now all I have to do is let this cycle, but most likely I will instant cycle it because I do got some cycled media. I probably will run a sponge that's pre-cycled already in the corner here to these corner mat filters get fully cycled. So that's pretty much how I do my corner filtration. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, show your support from my channel, and leave me a comment. Let me know if this video was helpful. I enjoy hearing from everybody, and let me know what kind of fish you keep and stuff. Till the next video, I'll see you then. Thank you for watching.